The good life, full of fun.
Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. Got a question. Do you guys like polenta? You know what polenta is? Polenta is such a true, authentic Italian dish, and I love it. So I will tell you, when I was a kid, I didn't actually have a lot of polenta growing up, and I was first introduced to it when I went to Italy 35, 40 years ago, and I probably had it, if you will, before, but not anything that I would remember. It wasn't something I made with my dad or my grandmother, what have you. But when I had gone to northern area of Italy, where my dad was from, that was the first time I had it, and it was actually used as a true side dish, and I just absolutely loved it. I had it as a main entree, and I see that you could flavor it with mushrooms and truffles and onions, and my God, you could do so much with it. It's so absolutely delicious. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my favorite version, if you will, of polenta. So we're going to make a polenta, all right, and we're gonna spruce it up a little bit. And I'm going to share a couple of tips with you, because we want to put some cream, we're going to put some cheese, we're going to put some butter, not a lot, just a little bit of it, because if not, I found that if I just had plain polenta, a lot of times it was too bland for me. It didn't have any depth of flavor. So we're going to make, if you will, essentially the plain polenta, and then right near the end we're going to add some cream, some butter, and some cheese, some Parmesan cheese to it, almost like you'd make a risotto, okay? Then we're going to let it set, we're going to let it cool, we're going to shape it into like little pancakes, and then we're going to fry it. Oh my God, it's absolutely delicious. And then what you do is you just stack 2 or 3 of those across, you hit a little bit of grated cheese on it with a little drizzle of olive oil. Oh my God, it's absolutely delicious. So that's what we're going to do. So what do we got to do here? Essentially, anytime you make polenta, it's 3 to 1. So 3 parts water, 1 part polenta. This is the traditional yellow corn. You've seen it sometimes maybe with white, but traditionally is yellow, so it's not a big difference in flavor. We're going to use a pinch of salt, olive oil, some cream, which I'll pull out of the fridge when we're ready, and some about a half a cup, a little bit more maybe, of Parmesan cheese, and 3 tablespoons of butter. That's essentially it, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to motion my camera person over, so come on right over if you would. Okay, so you ready? So here essentially is our polenta, all right? And we got our salt. So what are we going to do with our salt? I got the water going on already. We're going to put a teaspoon or so of salt in there. That's going to give you your flavor. Then I'm going to take the polenta. I'm going to pour that right in there. Okay, so we got 3 parts polenta. I'm sorry, 1 part polenta, 3 parts water. And you're just going to mix it right in. I don't know if you can get in there or not. If you can, come on right in. Okay? And essentially like cornmeal, right? And now what we're going to do is we're going to let it cook. So it's going to heat the corn. What that does is, if you think of corn, it's kind of like a sponge. It's got like a lot of fiber in it. You can already see it expanding right now. And as it heats, think about putting like a dry sponge in water. It immediately starts to open up, and it starts to get, see it start to pop right now, which is good, so you gotta watch it. So turn the heat down just a little, which mine's perfect right now, okay. And what that's gonna do, it's gonna open right up, and it's gonna thicken, and all that water is gonna start to be absorbed right into the polenta. And you can already see it here. If you can get in real quick. See how it's starting to thicken up already? Look at that, how quick that is. All right, and I didn't flavor this at all yet. So essentially you've got the corn flavor. And now we don't want to mold this. So a lot of times, traditionally with polenta, if you're not going to use it as a scoop dish, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll cook it, they'll put it in a pan, you can shape it, you can put it in a bowl. I've seen it in so many different ways. We're not going to do it that way. Almost like mashed potatoes. If you think of mashed potatoes, you throw a slab right on the side. It's going to be kind of that consistency, okay? So we're there right now, okay? It's absorbed. Look how quick that was, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it set. I'm going to put our butter, and I'm going to put our cheese in there, okay? And this is, I'm going to shut the heat off, okay? I'm going to put a little bit of splash of olive oil, because everything tastes great with olive oil. I'm going to put a little splash of cream. This is a half and half, so it's not a heavy cream, but it's a little something, a little fat content to it, okay? And I'm going to put some cracked pepper. Okay, now this is already hot, all right? So now I'm gonna mix it nice and slow, and that is just, now the flavors are just phenomenal right now. Because you added a little fat content, not a lot, you know, portion-wise. And I'm gonna stir it until everything is incorporated. So I see the cheese stranding on me. And I'm just gonna keep mixing it. Oh, that smells good. And I'm gonna let this set. Oh my God. Oh my God, it smells so good. Mmm. Oh my God, it's delicious. And it's gonna, what it's gonna do is absorb more of the moisture. It's gonna absorb more of those flavors in there. And then what it's gonna do is, it's gonna get a little bit stiffer, which is what I want. It won't get real hard, but it's gonna get a little stiffer. When I'm done with that, I'm gonna show you how to make it in like I said, a pancake size. We're gonna put a cast iron on here, put a little bit of olive oil in there, a little bit. So they're not deep frying, if you will, but there's a little bit of a bath to give it that crisp. Oh my God, it's gonna be delicious. I'll talk to you guys in a couple minutes. Okay guys, you ready? We're back to polenta here. I'm gonna pull that off, and I already checked it just a few minutes ago. So if you remember, we finished cooking it 5, maybe 10 minutes, and you see how it's starting to cool? You see how creamy it is? It's nice and creamy, okay? So there's a few little different ways we're gonna do this. Now it's still a little bit hot, but we're on real time here, so, and I got a house full of hungry people, so I'm gonna kind of rush it, all right? So if you guys are okay with that, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna scrape that off, my little dish. Now I got the oil going in the back. I got olive oil going. I put about maybe a 1/4 inch, a little bit more. Let me taste this. Oh yeah. It's got that cheese, the butter, the creamy flavor, and it's still got the crunch of the polenta. Oh my God, great. So real simple. I use one of these, okay? Why? Because it just makes them all the same size. So no, we're not having ice cream. On one of the episodes there, we are making biscotti. Ooh, don't be jealous. And there we go. Would you love to be a friend of mine in my house? Right? All right, so, and I want to thank everybody. I've got the nicest comments on our YouTube, and I've got some really nice emails. And they're just really nice people and making nice comments. I want to thank you for that. It was really nice. So, something I love doing, sharing with other people. Don't forget to go on our YouTube and subscribe to our channel. And there's just a subscribe button. That's great. That way you'll be notified of any new recipes. And then if you go to our Facebook and like our page, so anytime we come out with something new, it'll be great. We're doing a Italian series this summer. So I'm going to be spending some time. My grandmother would not waste a thing, like anything like that, she would not waste. Okay? So this thing's going really good right here. So what I'm going to do, again, for the sake of speeding things up, expediency, I'm going to just put a little olive oil on there. Okay, so you're learning some of my little secrets. Don't worry about making a mess. Why? Because I'm going to scoop this and I don't want it to stick. Okay? And then I'm going to put it like right over my pan. And if you can come right over here, camera person, right? I'm going to, oh, that's beautiful. Okay? And I got my little baker knife. Got olive oil. Now, when I use the olive oil, just so you guys are with me on that. Oh, you hear that sizzling? Oh. And what you want them to do now is you want them to crisp so they're taking a shape. They haven't taken a shape yet. So when they're taking a shape, you'll be able to take the flipper, you'll be able to get right underneath it, and you'll be able to flip it. You got to do it without, the trick there is you got to be able to do it without getting it all over yourself. So that's why I always have two utensils, and I use the metal, and you can flip it and hold it with the other one so it doesn't splash into the oil. It's not fun when the oil splashes up in your face, so just give it a heads up. If you haven't experienced it, trust me. We used to do the fritters down the restaurant, down my dad's restaurant. We used to make these corn fritters. And we'd make other ones, but the most common one we use is these corn fritters, and we would sit there and dump them in the fryer-later. And one time my sister and I were hammering them in there for Sunday, because they'd serve hundreds of people down there. And my dad, of course, every time we did it, hey, be careful, we'd stand on these little boxes because we were little kids. So my dad would, you know, he'd try to get some free labor out of it. So we'd be popping all these corn fritters. And my sister got hot oil, I remember, right there in the center of her head, like a ½ inch. It was like a quarter, so bigger than a ½ inch, right there in her head. She had to go to school. It was just terrible. Felt so bad for her. So I'll have her on one of our episodes. She can share the story with you exactly as it happened. So pretty fun. So okay, so these are just starting now to take shape. Okay, so I'm going to check it right now. So see, I'm going to just kind of go nice and slow. And probably could have gone a little bit more. Okay guys, we're back. So I turned the heat up a little bit because we want to make sure they're taking a shape. Now see how they're starting to hold their shape? There it goes. Oh, that's good. Now what this is going to do, see that one's perfect. Oh, ho, ho. Now remember, you got hot oil, so just take your time. Sometimes I say that not for you, for me, because I feel sometimes like you'll rush. Again, use that other utensil. See, I just slide it on the other one. Oh, I took the crispy end off. Hold on. We don't want to lose that. That's the best part. Okay? And you're letting these things go. Go ahead, back up. You good? So you're letting these things go, you know, maybe 5 minutes on each side. Now it's already cooked, if you will. But what you're doing a few things. One, you're crisping the outside. And secondly, you're going to give it a little bit of a deeper cook. So remember, when you roast things or when you cook them a little deeper, what it does is it brings out other flavors. It breaks the tissue down of the food, and it brings out a different flavor. And that's what you're going to get here. And you can really, you can smell it. Now we've got the cheese in there. We've got a little bit of cream. We've got butter. We've got salt, pepper, a splash of olive oil, if you remember, salt. So that's already in there. When we pull these out, we're going to plate it. And we're going to drizzle it with a really good, high-quality olive oil. And I always put you know, a little cracked pepper on there. Oh, it's going to be delicious. Are you guys ready? Polenta. Beautiful stuff. Here we go. So these have been frying. And I say frying, again, you're not really deep frying, even though it almost looks like it. Okay, I'm going to put those right on a plate. And they've probably been, drizzle the oil off. Okay, now they got a nice crunch on the outside, and that's what you're shooting for. You're going for that nice crunch on the outside. And you got the cheese, oh my God, just delicious. Now I'm going to put a little bit more in here because I got a couple more. But okay, you guys ready? I'm going to take this perfect piece off the top, okay? Let me slide this out of the way. Oh, look at that. Is that beautiful? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drizzle it. Now, as I told you, you want to use a higher quality olive oil. And we're just going to, yeah, this is probably a touch more than I wanted, but that's all right. Okay? And then I'm going to hit it with just a little Parmesan. Just a little. Oh, okay. And a little bit of that. Ho, ho. Are you ready? Then I need my fork. Look at that. Now this would go as a side dish. My mouth is full of water right now. This would go a side dish with really anything. You wouldn't put it with a pasta, if you will, or starch. But I mean, obviously a meat, a red meat, a seafood, it would go phenomenal with. And it complements vegetables really well. I've seen a lot of times you can put mushrooms in here, roasted peppers, garlic, truffle. Oh my God. Oh. That is absolutely delicious. That brings you right back to Italy. What I love about this is that crunch on the side. It just brings that perfect texture It's got a creamy inside with the butter and the cheese. And then, oh my God. And then you fry it in that oil. So it gives you all the textures, all the flavors. And then when you fry it, it gives you a deeper flavor. I think I'm just gonna eat that whole plate. That is good stuff. Guys, I gotta tell you, one of my favorite side dishes that I wanted to share with you today, and I really enjoyed spending a few minutes with you today. Remember, your family is the soul of your life. So spend time with your family. One of the best ways you can show your family and loved ones that you love and care about them is to spend some time in the kitchen and making them something. I love it. And not only that, it brings everybody together. It allows you to show that you care. You can shut those cell phones off, shut the TV off, and it brings back those family traditions, that heritage that too often is lost. Again, thanks for spending some few minutes with me today. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you guys next week.
It's the good life, full of fun.